Welcome to See You Next Tuesday podcast. This week, Lucy, we decided we was going to speak about words, speak about how words can impact you.
How words can impact you and how words can impact others around you, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would start. I think I've seen the impact of words this week. Words about mental health, really. Anxiety would be something I'd like to discuss, because when you're transparent and honest about things that make you anxious, people can either listen to those words or not, and they can either heighten your anxiety or lower it. And what I found interesting this week is anxiety being used as a tool. Now, anxiety is a really normal emotion, and I feel like we really need to normalise what anxiety is really about. It's the emotion that keeps you safe and makes you feel safe. It's not actually a negative emotion, and I think because there's so much press about anxiety, depression, that it's become unnormal. It's used as an unnormal emotion, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And it's actually quite a normal emotion in everybody. Everybody feels anxious at points in their life. Certain things, certain triggers. Anxiety is a normal emotion. It's what stops people walking on a train track, for example. It's that anxiety, oh no, I shouldn't do that. From a very young age we have anxiety, but it's become like a negative emotion where actually there are positive sides to being anxious. So yeah, that's sort of my stance on words for the week.
Do you think anxiety can be used for manipulation?
I think in the right way, if you can express to anybody what is making you feel, let's say, uncomfortable, anxious, something that triggers you to feel unsafe, is what I would say is anxiety, then I guess that's our opportunity to either help you and support you to be less, or ignore and make you more. I think everyone has an active choice. I think the recipient has an active choice whether they allow that person to become less anxious or not as well. I think there's are we responsible for our own feelings, and how can we prevent others from making us feel like shit? Words. And to go another extreme from that is I went to a kinesiology course this week, and what a fantastic environment to be in. The energy, the being around people that lifted your soul with words. So
with just words?
Just words, or being present, I think. Being present, listening, hearing you. Hearing you, not listening, hearing you. So you didn't have to feel like your voice couldn't be heard or that you shouldn't speak. But I do think there was a lot of praise, a lot of, you're doing wow, and wow, isn't this amazing, and we're all in this together, and there was a few bits that were really tricky for people to understand. But yet everyone was around them supporting them, cheering them on. And it wasn't like, oh, it's tricky, you'll never get it. It was like, come on, this is like driving a car. Let's look at it logically. You're anxious because there's lots to learn. But we were anxious when we started driving. But you soon get the hang of it. You soon realise that you can change gears, and then it becomes just like second nature, doesn't it? And it's the same with anything big and new. You are thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to do this. But actually, you just need to put that work in. Keep practicing, you'll get there. But it was just like going into somewhere where it really felt for me like my soul was fueled. And if anyone does feel like they need a soul fuel, Health Angels in Bexley and Kings Hill, lovely place to go for treatments. And they are a group of women who are all for making you feel better. Whatever that looks like for you, based, but whatever that looks like for you. And they're so supportive, and they will be your biggest cheerleaders. And I think that's where sometimes we need to look about what environments we actually put ourselves in and keep ourselves in.
Yeah. So what would you say, so do you think it's words that, well, words are what cause an emotional response, aren't they? It's the emotional response.
Words and actions. Words and actions, because I could say to you, Wendie, I'm ever so sorry for burning your dinner, and then continuing to burn your dinner. You know, consciously decide that's what I'm going to do. So I think sometimes there's meaning in words, and sometimes there's absolutely zero meaning in words, because if you're apologising for the same thing continuously and you haven't put the changes in your actions, sorry is then just
when
words,
isn't it? When words mean nothing.
Yeah, so
When
there's
nothing.
lots of context to words. And it's like, even reading online, for example, yesterday was my birthday, lots of messages online, some really heartfelt messages online as well. But those instantly brought me joy, and they're just words. I didn't hear the people say it, they were just words, but instantly made me feel good.
That's because maybe the sentiment and their words are on a consistent.
Yeah, and I think also appreciating that we are all really busy. Words that someone's taken their time out of their busy day, even if it's just a couple of words. Some of them are people that I don't even really know that well. I just think that's a really nice effort, especially in this time and age, just to take that time to just go, happy birthday, I hope you enjoy your day. Or just say something nice. Like you said, the truth bomb. I wonder how people got on with the truth bomb. People actually did a little post saying, I see you, I hear you, from last week. Or was it the week before? But I wonder how many people did that and what response they got from that, because even reading a nice comment can just ignite your soul.
Yeah, of course.
But yet, so would be a negative comment. And I think we're very happy, not we, actually, doesn't mean you, but people are very happy to write something negative on someone's post or pictures, etc., etc. But that has the absolute same effects on the soul as well. And I think, yes, people can go be hardened to it and get used to it, but why should you have to? Would be my question. Why should you have to get used to people being derogatory towards you, your personality, your looks, your...
Oh, so now we're talking about what people say. What people say and what people mean with words can be two very different things, but it's also when you say something, following it through. Making a statement and following it through.
Yeah.
And actually backing up doing what you say you're going to do, or actually backing up being who you say you are.
Being who you say you are. That is a very good subject, because I found myself brutally honest saying I am a good person. I am a good person. This person thinks I'm a good person. Now why is it so important for me to keep saying I'm a good person and justify myself? I have stopped because I was like, why am I doing this? Because who am I trying to prove what to? What am I trying to prove here? Because I know the majority of the time I endeavour to make sure I lift people up. I like to spread positivity. I like to do bits for charity. As a whole, I try and be 1% better than I was yesterday. But that doesn't just involve me, that involves my community too. Whether that's online, whether that's in personal, there's a few things that I need to tweak in my life that I think I've come a bit unbalanced, and that's time for family and friends. I'm very aware of that. I'm going to book out a day each month, saying, right, this is the day I've got free, what are you doing, should we get together? But actually, as a whole, I come from a place of love.
Can I ask you
Yes, you can.
a question? What was happening, or what was being said to make you think you had to explain you're a good person? Because if I was in that situation, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no.
If I was in that situation and someone made me feel, my first thought is, why are you explaining yourself here? What's happened that's made you feel you need to explain yourself here, Wendie? Because for me, I'm a bit more cutthroat than you. If I feel I'm explaining myself, I think, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out. You're not a me person, and that's me done.
Yeah.
You're out. You, not because I feel that I shouldn't explain myself, but at the point of the fact that if you're making me feel that vibe, that energy, that I need to explain myself as to who I am, what I am.
And what I've come to realise is actually, doesn't matter what I say, what words that come out of my mouth, people will see me how they want to see me, and that's okay.
Because it's only ever going to come from where they're at.
Yeah.
And
exactly
you can't change where they're at.
No,
and you
definitely
can't
cannot
be their standard. People can't judge you by your standards. They're going to judge you by theirs, but they're going to judge you from an emotional, mental standpoint of where they're at. And if you're not on the same vibe, then they can ask, but I wouldn't waste my time explaining myself, because
100%
if you don't know who I am already, then if you don't know who I am, already, and you don't have that vibe from me, why would I waste my time explaining myself?
100%, and I totally agree. And I think my background in social care is always sort of like positive reinforcement, and they're children and they need to know you're a good person, and I am coming from you from a place of love, and you have to almost repeat that on the daily for quite some time and keep coming back when you're called a cunt and a bitch and a whore, or something's been lobbed at your head. So that's sort of my mental programming, that actually this is what I do, but yet I'm treating grown-ass adults and going, oh yeah, I'm a good person, I'm here for you, I'm going to be, I'm a person that you can trust, blah, blah, blah. Why am I doing that? They're not kidding care. That's not what I'm not what work. I'm in relationships with people, and actually, I don't have to justify myself, and no, I don't have to be seen, and what your opinion of me is your opinion. But actually, where I need to come from, oh my God, yeah, bring it on.
Doesn't mean
but
you
what I found myself doing is being attacked with negative names, and me going, well, actually, I'm not those things. But actually, why does that matter? Why does that matter to me? And it was because it was a trigger from previous. And I think that's why I was like, no, I'm not that person anymore, because actually I did have mental health issues, especially as a teenager, mental health issues, a lot of them, but I was aware of that, and I've dealt with that. Maybe not till my early 30s did it actually come to light how bad it was. But I think when then you're named with something you've worked so hard for, I'm like, I'm not that person! And it just ignited this anger, how dare you question my mental state? Because actually, where I'm at now is the strongest, the calmest, the most proactive, and I am actually enjoying life. I don't feel like I am in fight or flight, but actually, in that moment in time, I was.
Because it just shows you where there's still room for growth, because we know there's always room for growth. But also, I think what you have to look at as well is their programming, and why are they casting those? Because people do that again from the place they're at, but it's avoidance. It's avoidance, and it's a lack of wanting to open up, do the work, and explore what they can do and change within themselves. But also, like, that's their programming.
But it's a reflection, isn't it? You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. You are the problem.
Yeah, because people always tell you what's wrong.
Yeah.
But actually, if you was to crack that wide open, I wonder what you'd find in them.
Yeah.
And that people people always say, like, you know, like you said to people, well, you know, I always remember working with Catherine Dixon, who she facilitates the work of Byron Katie, and I remember doing really deep sessions with her and her saying to me that would you treat your children like that? Would you, like, are you a good person? Would you, and she says, and that, you know, would you say these things to other people? And you're like, oh, I would never be that way to anybody. And she says, I'm going to call you a liar. I'm going to say that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. She said, because if you're sat here and you're thinking and feeling that way about you, and you can treat you that way when you're at your limits, or you're being challenged, or you're being pushed in an area that you feel uncomfortability, or there's more work to be done, then that's exactly what's going to come out.
Yeah, I love that. And I am very aware that this has been a trigger for me. So I am going back to therapy. I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to work through that part of me that has come back up. And I think it's important to share that, not because I want everyone to go to therapy, but I do think it's really important to say, you know, you can go to counselling or art therapy or facilitation. I've had some great ones of those. But you can go back, and it's not a bad thing to go back and revisit when something comes back up. And so that's my truth. I will be going to explore that. Yeah,
explore. I was just going to use that word. It is an exploration, because nothing's ever fixed.
No.
Nothing's ever fixed, and nothing has to stay the same. No one has to stay in an environment where words are being used against them to stop them from having any form of growth, any form of enjoyment, any form of life other than on their terms, because people choose to use words and situations to almost impact that, to almost...
100%. And I think I went to a conference actually about domestic violence, and I remember someone saying to me, the words that were spoken to me hurt more than the physical injuries that I ever received. The downgrading, all those words have stayed where the physical injuries have healed. So I think that's something for us all to bear in mind, because everyone's like, oh yeah, well, it's not physical abuse, it's not sexual abuse. Well, actually, words can be abuse, and they can be really abusive. So think about what words we use.
But words can also be very positive.
Oh my God, yes.
And I think, you know, it's, I think the problem is as well, is that I don't think people realise as much that you're, like, we talk about this a lot, about who you put around, who you listen to, what you speak yourself, what you say yourself, can also change everything.
It can change everything. And it was interesting in this course that I did the weekend, they were saying that actually if you got into your car when you left and listened to classical music, it does something to the cells in your body. There's a positive change in your body. If you got into the car and listened to AC/DC, it does something to cells, but it's a negative change. So it actually, everything around us is energy. Every word spoken, every word written, every plant, everything is energy, and you're impacted by other people's energy. So you can't shield yourself sometimes, but you can remove yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone must know, like, we can have a house that's as calm as anything. It takes one person to walk through the door, that completely changes.
Chaos.
Yeah, and they don't even have to open their mouth and say a word.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying, but also it's the mood, it's the undercurrent, it's that constant noise in the background that they play over and over and over and repeat, and you just think, I feel like sometimes I'm like, you'll see me throw the door at night and think, right, you know, we're fine. Like, it's funny, I'm really sensitive to things like that, but I'm also sensitive to words, but I'm sensitive to people, but I'm sensitive more to words. Even like, people will be having a normal conversation and I can think, I pick up words and think, oh, that's what's happening.
But also, I think there is a great thing about being sensitive. That's another thing that I think there's really positive and negative connotations to.
With words?
With words, because I am very sensitive, emotionally sensitive to everybody, but especially myself. And, oh, you're too sensitive. No, actually, that I am aware of what that triggers in me, so I will then put a boundary in place so that I am then not triggered. And if those boundaries aren't met, I will then call that out. That's not sensitive, that's protection.
But this is the beauty of sensitivity, right? I hate the way I've had this conversation with one of my children who keeps getting told they're too sensitive. And I had an incident at work this weekend where a member of staff was accused of being too sensitive through somebody with words.
Nitpicking.
And, you know, I was trying to explain to her, like, she's like, oh, I'm just too sensitive. I said, what's too sensitive? Explain to me what too sensitive means. I don't know what too sensitive means. I'm incredibly sensitive in 1,000 ways, let me tell you. Don't find any of them negative.
No.
I know they're seen, a lot of them are seen as negative, but nope. So can I ask what sensitive means? Like, or being too sensitive, why? Where's that come from that you think that's a negative thing? So to me, she was like, well, I'm not feeling my full self. This person's making me feel uncomfortable. So I was like, right, okay. Is being uncomfortable like too sensitive? She's like, well, no, because I love my job. I want to do my job. I don't want anything to affect my job. It's how I earn my money. I've been too sensitive then. Well, not really. That's value, right? Okay. So you value being there. She's, yeah, and I like the people I work with. I'm good at my job. I can get here if I can't, you know. So, okay, so we've got value. We've got enjoyment. We've got I work hard. You know, we've got uncomfortable. So she's like, right, I said, do you see anything negative in anything that you've said? She said, well, not really. So why is that too sensitive? Surely those sensitivities create an application of self, a value, like a standard of self-worth, an enjoyment, a place. You know your place here, you know your value, you know your trust, you know your respect. What's negative about that? Please tell me. And if somebody's throwing that off by not applying those normal set of circumstances for you, is that a negative thing or is that a positive thing? And like, so, do you understand me? I said, like, do you feel you can improve any of this? And she's like, no. She said, I just don't like it. And I said, right. So you don't like it. So if we explain to that person that you don't like it, and she understands that maybe her sort of pulling a china shop approach, or her, come on, like, she's older than you, she's obviously got a different set of days, her day looks different to yours. Can we not just say to her, like, actually speak to this person and explain that they're making you feel uncomfortable without it being anything other than the fact, this is how we normally are, she's feeling a little bit uncomfortable, is it okay if we just kind of
adjust?
Be a bit more, not even mindful, but can we just be aware that this is how we normally do things? Do you know what I mean?
And I think when you bring it into someone's awareness, that what they do with that is out of your control. But I think we expect sometimes that it to be into people's awareness. I mean, I've had a situation this weekend where I brought something to an awareness and it's been totally disregarded. But then that's my choice how that I deal with that. I need to in the most positive way, but it's my choice. But I think once you raise that awareness, I think sometimes we feel that there will be change. Some people don't want to. Some people will want to disregard your feelings. And then it's down to you about how you're going to then move forward with that, knowing that information that actually I've spoken my needs, you can't meet them, so where do I get is it something I need to meet in myself? Is it something I need to explore in myself? Or is that something I need to remove myself from?
But my point as well was the fact that once she realised that somebody had heard her, and she'd never even looked at sensitivity, that word,
being heard,
sensitive, that sensitivity, she saw, I said, like, that's a super duper power, that's actually not a bad thing, and actually that's probably prevented this going anywhere, that you feel that sensitive about the situation, that you was able to say to me, because you, like you say, because you feel heard, but also it's the fact that it's like sometimes, why can't that be a positive thing?
Yeah, 100%. I think sensitivity to energy, all those sort of things, words, everything, sensitive in how you value yourself. Absolutely amazing. Like, why is that a negative? I don't see any negatives in sensitivity at all. I think, yes, we can be overly sensitive at times, but there's a reason behind that. It's never just because, and like you say, I think sometimes that's a lack of understanding of ourselves.
Yeah, massively. And also I think, like, she was like off, never bothered her, because she realised in her eyes that sensitivity was a good thing. That situation never bothered her again for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes that you're right, taking that power out of that situation, actually, let's have a look at that. What does that mean for us? Okay, that's not that bad at all.
No.
Let's go.
Look, I said, that's what she messaged this morning. I'll never be worried about being called sensitive ever again. You've made me look at it completely differently.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same as like she was desperate to go home, but she wasn't in a rush after that. And also I think it's the fact that, like, the scenario for me is that had someone been in a mood, now isn't it funny how we all shift? And when you're sensitive to someone being in a mood,
whoa,
you're not accused of being too sensitive then, are you?
No.
You're accused of not being sensitive enough, or not being sensitive to their needs.
Yes.
Or saying the wrong thing, or doing the wrong thing. And you can't be overly sensitive to somebody that's having a bad time, can you?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
But then the biggest offenders have been the ones that are accusing you of being oversensitive when it doesn't suit them.
Exactly that.
So I find this word sensitive, or overly sensitive, or this sensitive word has been used wrong. I find it wrong. I just find it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's used like an insult.
Yeah.
Like an insult.
Yeah, I think there's loads of words I can think of. Boundaries, especially being one of them. It's like insultive, anxiety, negative. It's not necessarily, unless it's all encompassing and it's taken over your world. Anxiety is actually just a normal human emotion.
But so what if it's taken over your world again?
It's not a negative, is it? It's not about.
It's a sensitivity to something that's either out of balance.
Yeah.
Right? Out of balance in either a safety issue way, an emotional way, a mental way. It's like it's almost like a warning system.
So talking about balance, when you feel out of balance, how do you bring yourself back?
Me?
Yeah, you personally.
If I feel out of balance, the first thing I will do is try and put a name on the emotion.
Okay.
So my first thing is like, is it this? Is it anger? Is it upset? Is it fume? Because I fume a lot. Is it fume? Is it? Do you know what I mean? I fume a lot. Is it like? Is it safety? Is it something that, like? Because I have these little things where, like, we all have a list that's like a bit of I want to call it a chicken list. It's not. But I have certain emotions that I know without even allowing myself to touch them. I think that's going to fucking hurt me.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt me and blow me wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Is today the day to go on one of them deep diving expeditions, or is that staying on the chicken list? But I know if it's one of them, because it's always to do with parenting. As we know, I've made it quite open and very open. If you question my parenting, or I feel I'm not a good enough mum, you're going to kill me. That's the end of it. That's where I go to. I'm dead. That's it. I know it's going to hurt. I'm going to die from it. We all know that. I'm very much out there.
Yeah.
I'm very like that. You know, so for me, I go like that. And then the next thing is I get out my own way. I'm very good at getting out my own way. To bring myself up to balance, is it like right, do you just need to stop and have a breath moment, Wendie?
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually need to write this down moment and just make it make sense on paper? Or is this the full blown, you need to actually stop what you're doing and do something that takes you out of this to clear your mind?
Yeah.
And I do that a lot, even if it's like 20 minutes walking, sitting on the, like in my garden, feet on the grass, a bit of grounding, if it's a walk, if it's a phone call, like, do you know?
Yeah.
I have things that pull me back in straight away.
What does out of balance look like to you? I'm just thinking, like, some people, when we say out of balance, might be like, I don't even know what that is.
So, out of balance for me, out of balance for me means that my gut feels off, or my mind feels busy, or things, I've got flow. I get up, I flow, I'm quite sensitive to the atmosphere, I'm quite in line with all the flipping, where the moon's out, whatever the day blows, I can get up and I think, yeah, it's one of them. And I get my flow state. So if things aren't going well, it's like, right, stop. And it can even just be like getting up, getting downstairs, feeling the mood of my children, seeing what I'm feeling like when I get downstairs, feeling into myself and just thinking, right, what we got on today, you know? And then I think to myself, that's not good. Like, I can feel whether that's going to be a productive day, but I can also feel whether it's, have you got the capacity for that today, Wendie? This is where I'm at the moment. Have you got the capacity for that today? What's that going to look like if you try and fit all that in? How realistic are you being? And also, like just what do you never get up and just feel that that day's the day that's going to go?
See, my out of balance looks quite different to yours. So my out of balance would be overthinking, like over processing, unable to make decisions really. I'm like flitty in my decision making. I don't do anything really productive if I'm out of balance. I'll flit and I'll time waste and procrastinate. And I have this sort of feeling of just being lost.
Right.
Not having real direction. And it can just be 3 or 4 hours and I can check in and I'm like, what's going on? We'll explore it. But actually, currently, where I'm at, I was like, right, let's explore this yesterday. And I was like, I'm not quite sure. I'm actually not quite sure. I'm actually quite lost in this issue. So actually, I'm going to go to someone else that's going to help me unravel this issue, which I do for people every day. So I know the power in, I know all the answers are in me, but at the moment, I can't see them.
Yeah.
And I can't feel them.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit lost in that out of balance. So I'm just going to go get a bit of help and support from that, because as much as I have got wonderful support network, everyone has their own opinions and everyone has their own view of me and view of whatever's going on for me. So it's just so nice to go and speak to a stranger and not have that agenda there ready. You tell them your truth, and that is your truth. And I'm really actually excited to go back, because supervisions, etc., that I've had as part of being a counsellor, I obviously have supervisions, but also you've then got a relationship with that person. And you're talking about your clients and where you're going with them and those sort of things, which is great. But I get to go and do that all over again in a different way now. And I'm actually really excited, because I think that's just going to be not a new me, but there's going to be a new facet to me after that, because I know every time I go how amazing it is to just and it's gone. And we delve and we look and we explore, and I'll feel whole again, and I'll feel balanced again. And this has been, I think it's probably been about 7 years since I've gone and seen a counsellor, where I used to probably go every other year. So like the distance is different, and I think sometimes because I am a counsellor, people think, well, you must be able to know, but sometimes you get lost in your own head. So I'm really excited to go and explore what's in my head at the moment, because I feel like the bits and pieces of the puzzle can't quite match together at the moment. I just feel a bit lost. So yeah, I'm really excited about feeling unlost. But that's what out of balance looks like for me. But on a normal day, I would probably do an emotional check-in. I would journal is my thing. I normally do gratitude, because I think, right, if this is all going wrong, let's look at what's going right. And I can reframe my brain quite quickly. I'm quite good at that now. Affirmations I really like. That's what brings me into balance, but that's not enough for me at the moment. So, okay, I'm going to find another way.
Yeah, I think the thing is for me is that at the moment, I think if I had a bit more free time and I had a lot more life of my own, I'm not at that point at the moment. So for me, my day goes about operating what I need to get done, the work I need to get done, where the children all need to be at, if there's a bit of me time to fit in, what that'll look like. So my balance will look different to yours, because I think we both have different things in different situations.
Yeah, and I think it's just important for everyone to sort of know that just because you're out of balance isn't the same as either of ours.
Yeah.
Ours are very different, but they will all be different. What out of balance looks like to you and how you address your out of balance is your journey, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I'm very good at, I'm the same as you. I do gratitude, I do my journaling, I have my goals for the week, I have my has to be done, can't be done, like, let's see where that's at, you know, because
I fucks a day. I have 5 fucks a day that I can give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And that's my 5.
Yeah. And it just, you know, like for me, it's, I don't want my children to remember me surviving all of this. I want them to feel like that, you know, I want them to feel like they've had a life.
Yeah.
And obviously, I also don't want to live the life of having too much. I don't want to be too busy. I don't want my day packed out. And I don't want to fit a million things into my day, thank you. I want to be present with them. I'll fit 1,000 things in my day later on.
Yeah.
But I want to be present with them. I want to be present with my grandchildren. I don't want to miss that time. And I think for me, I'm lucky. This is probably one of the only things that I feel very deeply appreciative of this version of me, is the fact you can't make me give a fuck. If that's what I want to do, I don't care who you are, don't care what you need. They are never going to not be my priority.
Yeah.
You know, and if I have to change my day to make sure that they are my priority and what their needs are met, then you'll fit round them, and if it doesn't fit round them,
sorry but no.
Sorry but no. And it's the fitting it in and being the everything to everybody and not being authentic with your words and saying what you mean and knowing that you need to show up as who you are, because it causes so many problems that I get to say no. I get to say no, and I get to mean no, because for them, I'm always going to be who I say I am.
And for some reason, I've got to say this. Don't ever let anyone say your feelings are wrong, because your feelings belong to you. And that's how you feel. They are your truth. And speaking your truth is a really powerful thing. But recently, someone did say, well, that's not really how you feel. Well, yes it is, because they're my feelings, and I know. So I'm just going to share that little nugget of information with you, that it might help you, because I do feel that especially in close friendships that some people tell you how you feel. No. How you feel is how you feel. And exploring that with them, absolutely beautiful. But them telling you how you should feel, absolutely fucking not. So
I think it's,
I don't know where that came from, but I just was like, got to say that.
Yeah. But then again, that's words. It's a choice of words. It's saying what you mean, saying what you're able to do, valuing yourself and honouring yourself with the words and the commitment you have to. It's took me a long time to get here. You have no idea how long it's took me to get here. It's took me years of effing this right up to be able to get to this point. But unfortunately, now, and I was made to believe that part of me, that blatant disregard, that, oh my God, the things I've been made to think and feel about myself, because I can just say, no, fuck that, I'm not doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, that's not for me. I'm not doing it. It's I've been called all sorts, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it's, I think again, they're only words, and I've done a lot of work on making sure that words don't fall. Like, they've got to really, to stick in me, they've got to really come from someone.
Yeah.
So they've really got to come from someone.
But I think if the words do get to you, and you are in that place where, it does stick, I know that in my truth is that not feeling good enough and people judging me, as much as on the majority of days they don't, but they do take me back to a childhood place. I think mental things take me back to a childhood place where I can literally feel my inner child going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's okay too. It's not being aware of where that comes from and why you're triggered so badly, because that's where the issues lie. Because when I know I can feel my inner child going, that's when I know, right, I've got to address this, because this is a real not good place for me to be. Whereas if I didn't know that, I would just be like overthinking. So it's like addressing why you feel like you do with those words, because they are words and you can let them drop. But actually, if you're having a bad day, so for example, you've gone through a lot, when you can be low, those words might stick. But at the minute, like, you're a fucking false. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out my way.
Yeah.
But when you're in a bad place,
when you're in a funk,
you're like,
yeah. But see, the thing is with me is that when them words hit, like I do, and I've shown that, like, work colleagues or we talk about or whatever, I always go, why? Because why?
Yeah.
Why? What is the problem?
Yes.
What is it touching? Where is it touching?
Yeah.
What is, because the thing is as well, it shows you where there's room for growth, or shows you where you've not done enough work on maybe what on where you have been working on. And it's not that it's not enough work, it's just that the residue's still there. Things still sometimes, I've done a ton of work on being a parent, still touches me, still hurts.
It can also highlight who your tribe is, because actually sometimes it's your tribe.
Yeah.
And actually,
but sometimes your tribe mirror your inauthenticity.
Sometimes. Sometimes people just arseholes.
Yeah.
And you just need to go, get out of my space.
Yeah. But then that's again on you. Is that we're going back to sensitivity. If you're having sensitivities to the things and the behaviours of those around you, maybe instead of thinking you're too sensitive, you might need to say, why does that keep coming up?
Yeah.
Why is that
keep repetitive pattern? Yeah.
Poking at me?
Yeah.
What is that highlighting about them? What is that highlighting about me? What is that trying to make me sit up and take notice of? What is it trying to tell me? Or what is it trying to teach me? Or what are we needing to look at here?
Yeah.
Again, sensitivity is everything for me.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore being that sensitive.
Yeah. It's something to be proud of, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because trust me, that's the only version of sensitive you're getting out of me.
And to be honest, I think it's really good that you've said about sensitivity, because and she will say what she thinks in any given circumstances. And I think that where it comes from and that place of sensitivity is often lost. And I could name a few people that it's completely bypassed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really nice thing to sort of wrap it up about sensitivity, just because actually you're probably one of the most sensitive people I know.
Exactly. And I have no shame. I have no shame in that.
Absolutely not.
I have no shame in it.
No.
You know? And in, you know, like I say, it's I think it's a word that is very misused. Very misunderstood. And is used as one of the worst form of insults.
Yes. So be sensitive. Like, go there, be sensitive, feel your feelings. That's what we're saying, isn't it, really? And why do you feel those feelings? And today is out, talking of feelings, we have a healing journal. There's 26 weeks of things you can explore within yourself. So if you are into journaling, it is predominantly for women, because unfortunately that's what I am, and that's where I rent it from. And it's things that I've used in my time. But yeah, we've got lots coming up. We've got a few guys coming on as well, and we're looking at more guests. So if you'd like to come on and talk about anything, it doesn't have to be trauma based. It could be anything really, couldn't it? Like healing, spirituality, anything
Life.
you feel
Maybe
passionate about.
Yeah, maybe it's something that you've used that's helped you, that you feel
Could be shared.
Can be shared.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like your story, there's always something in everybody's story
100%.
that will
Benefit someone
that
else.
will hit someone.
Hit
someone differently, that will either inspire them or motivate them to actually believe they're not on their own, and get out of whatever it is they feel that they're under.
Yeah. So we will see you next Tuesday. Unstoppable by Lucy Clifford. It's on Amazon now.
Yay!